Hi students, we are going to be starting our new book today, and it's the series My Weird School, but the first book in the series is called Miss Daisy is Crazy, and we watched a video yesterday about the author, and do you remember who's the author of this book series? The author is Dan Gutman, and do you remember where he came up with the title? Like what song did he figure out the title for his first book? Shout it out. It was the song Tutti Frutti. So if you've not listened to that song, I highly encourage you guys to listen to it. I will probably send you guys the link later on about Tutti Frutti, but that's where he got the title of his book. So this is the beginning page, or this is the front cover of the book. It has the author's name, the title, and then the little book series in the bottom left-hand corner. But then if we go to the back of the book, it tells like a little description about what this book is going to be about. My Weird School. Something weird is going on. Miss Daisy, who teaches second grade. So Miss Daisy is going to be, do you remember the main character of the book series in this book we're going to be reading about? The main character is going to be a boy named AJ. In the video, the author talked about AJ being in third grade, but since this is the first book in the My Weird School series, AJ is starting out in second grade. Miss Daisy, who teaches second grade, doesn't know how to add or subtract. Not only that, she doesn't know how to read or write either. So it kind of makes you wonder, if she doesn't know how to add or subtract, read or write, then what is she going to teach her students? She is the silliest teacher in the history of the world. So AJ has a pretty crazy teacher, so I guess that's where this title came from in the song Tutti Frutti. Now we're going to be flipping through in the inside of our book. And do you remember who Emma is? Emma is the author, Dan Gutman's daughter, so every book in the My Weird series, it's going to be dedicated to his daughter named Emma. So it's really nice, but now you know who Emma is. But if we didn't watch that video, we would be like, who's Emma? But yes, that's his daughter. And then we get to this page, which it has the chapters in the book. So how many chapters do you see in this book we're going to be reading about? Shout it out. 3, 2, 1. There are 12 chapters. And what's cool about the contents page is that it tells you where you can find each chapter on which page. So on this side it tells you the chapter, and then on this side tells you what page that chapter's on. So if we go to chapter 7, it's going to be on page 51. And if we need to figure out, what's where's going to be chapter 4? So if we look on chapter 4, what page is on chapter 4? It's going to be on page 25. So yeah, the contents page is really important in the book series. And then I know, like in a lot of nonfiction books, like where books are actually based on facts, they have a glossary and an index. But we'll talk more about glossary index in science and social studies. But for fiction books, it's mostly just the contents page where you can find the page where the chapter's on. And also another thing, this is probably most likely going to be a fiction book since it's illustrated and it's based off the author's experiences. So it was kind of based on his childhood. Do you remember what inspired him to create a book series like this? He said he wanted more books that kids can relate to and have more fun with reading, and he wanted a guy character to be the main character in his book series because he was a boy that didn't really like to read when he was in school. So he wanted books to be fun for students. So that he kind of based his main character off himself when he was their age. So we are going to be reading. Before we begin, this page is really useful because it has the characters in the book series. So we see the main character AJ, we see Emily, we see the character Ryan, Michael, and then Andrea. Then also we have Miss Daisy too. And then we are going to be reading the first chapter, I Dislike School. My name is AJ. I like football and video games, and I dislike school. Our teacher, Miss Daisy. Someone's calling me. Sorry, let me decline that. I'll restart. My name is AJ. I like football and video games, and I dislike school. Our teacher, Miss Daisy, was taking attendance. It was the first day of second grade. Miss Daisy told everyone in the class to stand up, say her name, and say something about ourselves. So you see the students sitting down in class, and you see this one student stand up, telling a fun fact about himself. All the kids laughed when I said I dislike school, but there was nothing funny about it. I have learned a lot in my 8 years. One thing I learned is that there's no reason why kids should have to go to school. Ooh, do you agree with AJ? Do you think kids should have to go to school or have school? If you ask me, kids can learn all we need to learn by watching TV. You can learn important information like which breakfast cereal tastes the best, and what toys you should buy, and which shampoo leaves your hair the shiniest. This is the stuff that we'll need to know when we grow up. School is just this silly thing that grown-ups thought up so they wouldn't have to pay for babysitters. When I grow up and have children of my own, I won't make them go to school. They can just ride their bikes and play football and video games all day long. They'll be happy and they'll think I'm the greatest father in the world. But for now, I wanted to let my new teacher, Miss Daisy, know from the very start how I felt about school. You know what, AJ? Miss Daisy said. I dislike school too. You do? Oh, were you expecting that response from the teacher? We all stared at Miss Daisy. I thought teachers loved school. If they didn't love school, why did they become teachers? Why would they ever want to go to school as a grown-up? I know that when I'm a grown-up, I'm not going to go anywhere near school. Sure, I dislike school, Miss Daisy continued. If I didn't have to be here teaching you, I could be home, sit on my comfortable couch, watching TV, and eating bonbons. Whoa, we all said. What's a bonbon? Asked Ryan, a kid with black sneakers who was sitting next to me. Bonbons are these wonderful chocolate treats, Miss Daisy told us. They're about the size of a large acorn, and you can pop the whole thing right in your mouth, so you don't need a napkin. I could eat a whole box of bonbons in one setting. So on this illustration, this photo, it shows the teacher sitting on her couch eating bonbons. Ooh, they sound really good. I would eat one. They sound delicious, said Andrea Young, a girl with curly brown hair. She was sitting up real straight in front of the class with her hands folded like they were attached to each other. Miss Daisy seemed like a pretty cool lady for a teacher. Anybody who disliked school and liked to sit around watching TV and eating chocolate treats was okay by me. Me and Miss Daisy had a lot in common. Maybe going to school wouldn't be so terrible after all. So the character AJ changed his mind from the beginning of the chapter versus now. So at the beginning, he didn't want to come to school. He thought school was kind of lame, or he thought parents just wanted to send their students off to school. But him and the teacher had a lot in common, so he actually changed his mind. He's like, well, maybe school wouldn't be so terrible after all. Now, the next chapter we're going to be reading is Chapter 2, and it's Silly Miss Daisy and Principal Klutz. So we are going to be introduced to the character of the principal next time in Miss Daisy is Crazy. And I hope you guys enjoy the first chapter of our new book, and I'll catch you guys next time.